to $500,000 reaches its epic conclusion here tonight, live from the NASCAR Hall of Fame. This is round number 18 of the 2025 eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series.
Ready for the green flag.
The pace car is down and in with $100,000 on the line. Let's go championship racing at Homestead. Advantage early. Wilson on the inside of the racetrack. Challenge for second, not going to be there. A couple of cars right up to the very outside wall. You're going to see that a lot as this race goes on. But first time down the back straightaway, Wilson is clear for the number one position.
Yeah, one of those cars. And there's Casey Kerwin riding the wall. He's been up there almost the entire way through this first stint. Evan, again, it's all about the clean air, but it's a balance of the right rear here at Homestead-Miami. You can rip the wall and it gains you a lot of speed. Problem is, use it too much, right rear tire is going to be gone over the first run.
He's right now the highest running driver up on the wall. You see his dad and Darius are watching on from the front row here at the NASCAR Hall of Fame. It is a truly unique setup to have all of these friends and families in the building. And you can see on the bottom left, Casey working the shifter down and into turn number 3. 3 wide with the number 2 machine on the inside. So that right now is for second in the championship. Novak in the 2. It's Kerwin in the 24. Remember, those championship cars highlighted by the red numbers, the red windshield banners, and you can also see their positions are pinned at the top of our screen. 3 drivers inside of the top 10. And you're on board with Zach Novak. That car started in the number 8 position. He has slid back just a little bit, now scored in the number 11 position. Also trying to work that outside line as they come off of what is turn number 2. You see the battle, they go through 25 to the inside. Kerwin made the pass on Zach a few laps ago. He's picked up more spots. Kerwin up to P7. That is 11 positions gained already for Casey Kerwin. We take a live look in with Vicente Salas. We mentioned he was the driver with the most work to do. Started back in 37th. He's up 14 in his own right to 23rd. This may be a driver who clearly has some race pace, but I don't know if you can just make up from that position on a single green flag run. I think he may need some cautions and restarts or some strategy to get him a little bit further out.
And with the way this race has gone already, 16 laps green, we're basically halfway through the run. You're looking at 35 to 40 laps in which those tires start to fall away in terms of life, and then you really want to come down pit road, and that'll be a whole different conversation in its own right, because Homestead is not an easy place to come down pit road at the exit of turn 4, but for Salas, he seems so composed, and that was something I gathered yesterday. I had asked some of the drivers, were you nervous? Are you nervous to be back on stage running for a championship? I asked Salas, and he kind of said, not really. You know, he was composed, he's ready to go, and that was the overall vibe of the quartet we have fighting for the title this year. They're ready to go. None of them have those nerves taking over, and they're basically locked into their mission of winning this championship.
Looking at this battle inside of the top 10 for 3rd position on back. That's Duval in the 199, Minter in the 97, and Jordan Lopez in the 89. It's about 2 seconds off of the leader, but again, big consequences in the team standings and more on the line, as it looks like Spire holding a 26-point advantage over Channel 199 as we get that much closer to being halfway home.
And it's going to be tougher here, especially as these cars.
This is the battle for second. Tucker Minter has it, but Ryan Luza wants it back. We'll see if, again, right here, you don't see Wilson. It's a great battle, P2 on back. If they start fighting like they are now for second, I also think this is going to help Wilson. If they start really burning up each other's tires fighting, they're going to go slower lap times by running non-optimal lines around this racetrack. It is only going to aid the 77 team the more that this battle for second on back continues.
You know, Wilson is looking in the rearview mirror and saying he brought his heat and his hooligans there, right? It's all everybody trying to fight for the same spot. They're all losing time, and now's where we've got our first strike down pit road. That's Bobby Zelensky coming in, so that could be the calling card for a lot of drivers, especially right before halfway his track position. Now for Salas, he's going to have to be on the opposite end of the board, trying to punch above his weight right now. Salas hits pit road 52 laps in.
So Salas is the first of the championship cars to come down pit road. Luza, White, Urashak also in that time. And now we'll see, does this trigger a response by likely Kerwin or Novak? Those 2 cars were running right around Vicente, tail end of the top 10. and no surprise, there is the response. Not only is that Curran, but so is the leader. Steven Wilson is down pit road, so is Casey Kerwin, that will hand the race lead to Tucker Mincher for the moment, and temporarily, Zach Novak becomes the championship leader. He's in P7, the only championship car who is yet to come in.
There's the support as Casey Kerwin is going to try to chase the 11 down off the final corner.
Team owner, dad, friends, and family watch it on as he is in the cycle and is going to come off the pit lane right there with Salas. So Salas and Kerwin super close to each other for what right now is about P26. Wilson has cycled back on the racetrack as well. He's ahead of these two, so there is no leapfrog in the championship on pit road, but this is a battle for P2, and do not think that just because Wilson has an advantage at the moment, that this battle for the number 2 position does not matter.
Over the course of this long run, the gap's going to be considerably big, but think about it. You've got fresh tires. You can try to use that to your advantage and try to push just a little bit harder. It's just going to be a really tough mountain to climb to get around this 77, who basically has been flawless all night long.
Here's a great look at the head-to-head battle for the number 14 spot on the racetrack. Kerwin has a slight advantage over Vicente Salas. We saw these two blend out of the pit lane together. They cannot get apart. Right now, it's for 14th on the racetrack. Overall, that is the battle for 2nd and 3rd in the championship. Novak pitted later than all of these other championship cars. He's about 4 seconds behind those two, but does have a slight tire advantage. And of course, Steven Wilson up at the front of the field in a battle right now. What is more position between Zelensky and him? This is the battle for the net race lead. Wilson gets around Zelensky, so he will cycle back up to what is currently position number 4, but the 3 cars in front of them have not pitted. So the top 3 cars down pit road, it means new race leader is once again Steven Wilson. The entire green flag pit cycle has cycled itself through, and your championship cars now back where they should be in the running order. So the next time by, 33 laps to go in this race. The advantage for Wilson before the pit cycle was about 1.5 seconds. Right now, he's only 0.6 up on Bobby. This time by, call it 5 laps to go in the 2025 season. The 24 down to the inside on the 7. Tried to make it as difficult as he could, but Kerwin gets the spot, overdrives it into turn number 1, into the outside wall in 1 and 2. The 7 of all odds and posted back down to the inside. The 24 is not going to give an inch. It is full go mode right now.
Those are the full sends that we've seen Kerwin do, and even a bit of Vicente Salas. You run all the way to the bottom, you let the progressive banking carry you across the exit of the corner midway, and then you try and hope that the dirty air you deal for the driver behind you is enough to stick it through. There's Gigi watching on as Steven Wilson will see 3 laps to go from Homestead-Miami. He's going to pray that nothing happens, but he's put on the flawless race, trying to go for the 2nd title, and he's been basically the best all night long.
What a year it's been, and what a fitting end at a track in which he has been so dominant in, and in a season in which nobody has been able to compare. And we've already known that Steven Wilson has cemented himself on the list of all-time greats just by winning a championship. A top 5 driver in all-time wins. One of the drivers who has been in this series longer than anybody else. But welcome to the party alongside the best of the best, because Ray Alfala no longer stands alone as the only multi-time champ. Wilson is the 25 eNASCAR champion and becomes only the 2nd multi-time champion in eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series history. This winning moment, this championship moment, is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official fan refreshment of eNASCAR. Stage, the family comes over to congratulate Steven, as well as his fellow competitors. Casey Kerwin, the first one over to congratulate him. And there is Steven Wilson with friends and family posing with what will be the 2nd Dale Earnhardt Jr. trophy that he is going to have to find a place for. That thing's not small, it's not light either. Some pretty serious hardware, of course, inspired heavily by some of the NASCAR trophies of the past. We take a look at our Sunoco post-race results. We'll note, of course, where your championship four finishers ended up. Stephen Wilson gets the race win, starts on pole, gets the win. It's number 8 for him on the season. Casey Kerwin ends up P6. We see Vicente Salas ends up in the number 8 position. Those were the 3 playoff cars remaining that finish inside of the top 10. And then just beyond that, 2 things that jump out to me. Connor Urashak, P11. That should secure him the Rookie of the Year honors, so congratulations to him. And then Novak with the number 12 spot comes home as P4 in the title fight.
Yeah, what a season for Connor Urashak putting that together.